Hey, what's going on, everybody? welcome to another live stream. I'm David, the plant-powered runner, and I'm in Ontario, Canada, where it snows all the time. It seems like, anyways. And really, I gotta say, we're blessed. It is warm. It's like only -2 Celsius, which is really, really cool. And it's not like other years where it's like -20 or -30. So I'm really happy with where things are at the moment. So that's really cool. So um, yeah, thanks everybody for joining for another show. I'm excited. I've got a great guest on today that's going to help go through Q&A. His name is Ryan Flint, and he is an ultra runner for Ultra. He is a friend of mine. He has paced me in my 100 or in my 50 miler, and I have helped crew him in his endeavors that we'll probably end up talking about today. Now, today I wanted to talk about maffetone training and kind of look, we're going into the second year of my training, and I wanted to basically shed some light onto some of the things that I've experienced and that I didn't put into the video today. And these are real, right? This is real. I'm very transparent with all of you guys, and I always will be. And I want to make sure that you guys are prepared and set up for the things that you're going to encounter. Because look, we all want to do better in our running, right? We all want to achieve our goals. And sometimes we get derailed, right? Sometimes we get derailed and it's hard to kind of get back on track. And setting goals is extremely challenging as well to make sure that it's sustainable. So Ryan and we're going to dive into the weeds of that a little bit. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of different things that we're going to cover today. But with regards to training, I think it's best that we do this when we have somebody else that I can kind of bounce ideas off. And kind of talk about kind of where I'm at. But what I want to do is I want to take your questions. I want to take things that are going on for you that's real, that you need help with. Or if you just want to talk about beer and you want to talk about chips and you want to, whatever you want to talk about, guys, it's full on. It's fair game. I love doing these. And it helps me be a little bit more connected with you guys. And that's what I enjoy. So with all that kind of said, post your comments in the sidebar. That would be awesome, and we will review that. Well, Ryan and I will. And anyways, without any further ado, let's dive into today's show. So I'm going to bring Ryan on here. Like I said, Ryan has been he's a past real estate client of mine, and we actually, you know what? Let me just bring him on, and we can actually talk about how we first met because it's actually kind of cool. I'm going to add.
Hey!
Look at that. Okay, now I need a vote, everybody. Do you like the view that we have right now, or do you like this view here? So comment below. Let me know which one you like, right? So do you want the two side by side in portrait, or do you want the two in width, right? In the landscape mode? Let me know in the comments, because that will help me make sure that you guys have a good viewing experience. So yeah, so Ryan, before we dive in to our show today, like I wanted to introduce everybody. How did we first meet, right? Like, what was it like? Where did it all kind of begin?
Well, I think you probably remember better than me because we talked about this before and I had it wrong.
Oh.
Yeah, so I think I had messaged you about I heard about you being a plant-based runner. I think I messaged you and you completely ghosted me, never got back to me. Is that right?
I don't know.
But I think it was probably through Five Peaks or Chase the Coyote or something where like you were around, I was around. I knew you were a plant-based runner. I knew you were a real estate agent. I connected up with you. I figured it's good. It's nice to have similar things in common when you're looking for a house. You know what I'm looking for, the trails. So yeah, we found something.
Yeah, we did. Actually, you know what? The one memory that I have that's really crazy, guys, this is nuts. So there was one house that we saw, and Ryan's a trail runner. He's an ultra runner, and he likes going those longer distances. And so I was like, we looked at this house, and Ryan really liked it. And after I finished with them for the day, before I went home, I thought, I haven't got my run in for the day. Why don't I actually run from Speed River and run all the way back up to the house through the trail, and then I can let him know how far it is. So I actually ran all the way to the house from the river, and I let him know, hey, Ryan, you know what? It was like, 14 kilometers, kind of round trip, something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of cool, right? So it's neat the things that you do for your clients, right? And since then, Ryan and I we've been really good friends. And
I guess that's basically the same route, at least a portion of that of Kurt's run, right?
When he did his 100.
What did he call that?
The Guelph.
Guelpher Springs, yeah.
Guelpher Springs. Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was fun.
I really enjoyed it. That was an amazing experience. Ryan and I, we have a friend of ours named Kurt, and he lives in Guelph, and he wanted to run a 100-mile race, but Sulphur Springs was canceled. So he decided, hey, he was going to create his own. So it was like a 20-kilometer round out and back. And he completed it, and it was amazing. And Ryan and I were part of that. So that's what we were talking about. It was really, really cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was. So, okay, let me just make sure everyone's kind of happy with how they're looking at things here. Okay, guess nobody's got any complaints with how we're being viewed right now. So that's kind of cool.
My vote's for this setup. I like this better.
Yeah, I think so, because it's just a little bit more wider. You get to see more. Really, just looking back at my room, there's really nothing back there. I mean, Ryan's got all the cool stuff right behind him, right?
Yeah.
So Ryan, so fill me in, man. Like, what's Ryan? Ryan is actually, I'll let you tell it. You are a brand.
I'm a brand ambassador, yeah, for Ultra. And yeah, I mean, I was it 2 years ago, 3 years ago? I've been with them for a few years now. And it was just like, I heard about them through the Five Peaks races, started testing out their shoes, really liked them. The big thing for me, I know you've talked about Ultras on here before, but across the board, all of their shoes are zero drop, wide toe base, or toe box. So it's all about like natural running form and all that. So at the time that I applied, they actually weren't my number one favorite brand of shoe. I actually was more of an Innovate runner, but at the same time, there was only like 5% of the Innovate line that I really liked because it had a lower drop, was more minimal. The rest, like 95% of their shoes, it was just too much of a drop. It wasn't suited for me. Whereas Ultra, 100% of their shoes work for me. So I got into that. Finally found a racer shoe that really worked for me, that I love, the MT King, and I haven't looked back yet.
Yeah, you are totally the MT King guy. You love that shoe. I do. You had like 3 or 4 pairs up on your shoe rack.
Yep.
It was awesome. Yeah. Now, everybody, Ryan has actually done some FKT. I don't know if any of you guys are familiar with FKTs, but it's these kind of self-imposed races where we go for the fastest known time on a particular route, particular trail, or whatever it is. And Ryan has set 2 of them that I am aware of, unless you've done any more.
I wouldn't do anything that didn't involve you, man. It would be bad luck. You're my good luck charm.
Thanks, man. Yeah, so Ryan has set the, which one did you, okay, so Ryan set the Kissing Bridge Trail, FKT, and he's also set the Avon Trail here in Ontario. Now, the Avon Trail, that was 100 and, how many K?
It's just short of 120.
Okay.
I think officially on the site it's 113, but it's had some reroutes. It's gotten a bit longer. So yeah, it's approaching 120.
Very cool. Yeah, I remember that was in August that you did that, and that was insane. Like, man, we were there from like the beginning all the way to the end. And I mean, I drove Ryan to put his drop bags along the course. And then at the very, very beginning, it's like Matt and I are there and we're like, all right,
Yep.
go. And you just went. And it was an epic day. It was a really
Yeah.
cool adventure.
And like having you and Matty Lowe there really added to it. Like, and made it frankly a lot easier because I knew I was going to see you, and like even if it was 2 hours or whatever, having that to look forward to made a big difference.
Well,
So thank you.
well, hey, we enjoyed it. We enjoyed. I mean, the first drop bag, you actually beat us to it. I mean, because Matt and I, we just took off and we decided to go for a run of our own. And then we get back, and then all of a sudden you're already in your drop bag. It's like, wow, okay.
Yep.
You made really good time. And the crazy thing that I mean, I couldn't believe it, but your last kilometer of the whole entire 120 was your fastest. Like, right?
Yeah.
Like just knocking it off. What was it, like 4:19 or something a kilometer?
Something around there, yeah.
Man, he's just flying at the end.
So like not what I would generally consider super fast, but after 115, 17, whatever it was, kilometers, that was painful, but I was happy to be done at that point.
Totally. I mean, but here's the thing. I mean, you set up goals, right? I mean, we all have goals that we want to set, right?
Yep.
I want to run my 100 miler this year. And that's a challenge for me, right? I'm putting in the work. This is the first full week that I've had. Ran every day. I think I got like about 8 hours of running in, which has been great for me. I love that 8 hour mark. If I can get 8 to 12 hours, that's good. But staying on track and having a goal, right? And that's some of the things that you and I have talked about in the past is setting a sustainable goal and trying to reach it, right? That's big, especially when you've got these FKTs that you've actually gone out and set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and it's not necessarily the easiest thing to figure out what goals are worthwhile and then actually sticking to them. Like that can be a big challenge.
You have to have a big why.
I think that's what it comes down to, really thinking through your why, and then why is your why.
So
like, get in depth with it.
So let's ask the why. Why was the why for your Avon, right? What was the premise?
So for both of them, well, actually, I think Kissing Bridge is a little easier to answer. So the why for that was because it was a stepping stone to something else. I plan to eventually go for the FKT on the Bruce Trail. So the Kissing Bridge was sort of like a nice, quick thing to dip my toes in, test out the gear. It also was sort of a stepping stone to another race, Tally in the Valley, which basically that's an elimination style event where you do a 7-kilometer loop every hour on the hour, then wait and whatever. One of the hardest parts for me during that race was this like 1 kilometer section that was along a rail trail, completely flat, and just completely mind numbing. So I wanted to train myself to do just flat rail trail running. So Kissing Bridge, I mean, it was 45 kilometers of that. So that was really good training for that. And then Avon was much more up my speed. So like the distance was more something I was interested in, those ultra distance of 120K. And it was much more varied terrain and really interesting. The biggest thing though was it's right there. It was out my doors basically. So it was there. I went for it, and it just interested me.
Yeah, it's funny when you have like an interest that you want to go for, and you don't let anything stop you, right? So, I mean, for me, you and I have gone back and forth trying to figure out, what my next thing is going to be. And it's like, okay, well, what about this? Or what about this? And anyways, I'm still kind of formulating that 100-mile run, but I think I'm actually going to start up in Collingwood, the top of Blue Mountain, and then run all the way home along the Bruce Trail.
That's cool. Yeah.
Because I kind of like finishing at home, because if I finish at home, I just go into the shower, get cleaned up. I could stretch, don't have to drive anywhere. That would be kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
And it's self-imposed, right? Like I can create it, because I still don't know what's the race scene is going to look like here in Ontario. I mean, we're getting record numbers right now. I mean, we got 4,000 cases of COVID just, I think, yesterday or the other day or whatever. I mean, it's just the numbers are going up, up, up. So I don't know when any races, I don't know when I feel kind of safe to race in any of those.
No.
That's kind of so that's why I decided I'm just going to go this route, set it up myself, and then do it in August and let everybody join me along the route. And that way, if they got to wait around, at least it's summer and it's going to be nice weather, right? Not like October.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's see. So what some people here are asking. A couple of people are in. Mathis, hey, how are you? Good to see you here. That running guy, Cliff, good to see you. Julie, good to see you here as well. JDS54, awesome. Good to see you from South Louisiana. Favorite beer? Oh my goodness, favorite beer. What would be my favorite beers? Considering I don't drink per se anymore, it's kind of hard for me to say. It's kind of boring, but I'd have to go with like a craft beer in Ontario. And I'd probably have to say something from Creemore. No, not Creemore. Hockley Valley. I'd have to say Hockley Valley because they're really local. I mean, they are literally 20 minutes. And a client of mine is the brewmaster of the brewery. So I'm going to go with Hockley Valley for sure. That would be mine.
Nice.
I don't know about you, Ryan. Do you partake?
Not as often as I used to, but I don't know if you know this. I was a president of the vet frat, so there was some drinking there. It kind of got it all out of my system. But yeah, now for the most part, I go for like a craft IPA or something, and I usually just try something new and pick it based on the artwork on the can. I'm not too picky. So.
Yeah, no, true enough. We got another question. JDS asks, is it okay to exceed your MAF heart rate for periods of time during a run, as long as your average heart rate is at your MAF heart rate for the overall run? And the answer is no. When you go out and do your MAF run, you want to run your run in your aerobic zone, right? You want to keep it there. Now, if it goes up a couple of beats, then yeah, okay. It's not like you're going to be sustaining that for the whole entire time. So you want to basically keep it at the max, right? So if mine's 138, I want to keep it at 138. Well, keep it my best. If it goes up 1 or 2, I don't freak out or anything. It's just like, I know I would like to keep it at that number. Now, it's an arbitrary number per se. It works on average for most people, but ideally you want to kind of keep it, anywhere in that 10 beats. So if mine is 138, then my low end is 128. So if I keep it in that range, it's perfectly fine. If I notice that it goes up to 139, 140, 141, once I hit like the 141, then I start kind of freaking out and I need to slow it down to bring it back down. But your average per kilometer should be at your max MAF number or below. Okay, it shouldn't be more. And you're not going to be taking an average either, because if you go out and run 1 kilometer really fast, and then 1 kilometer slow, like in your MAF zone, and then 1 kilometer fast again, you're not getting your true workout in that aerobic zone. All right. So that's a varied kind of rate. That's more of a fartlek kind of run. What do you think, Ryan?
Sorry?
I said, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'd agree with that. If you're going for a MAF, yeah, you want to stick down to that aerobic zone.
Ryan's a very fast guy. That running guy.
Not always.
I know, but you're slow pace, man. Like you're younger than I am, right? So you're still fast, regardless.
Well, if you look at the last couple of days, like my runs have been pushing the kids in the stroller, so it's quite a bit slower.
That's true, but it's still faster than mine. It's still faster by slow. But that's the thing. That's where that ego, you got to like just not listen to it, right? Because
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
it's like, we like to compare against everybody else, but it's like, nah, you just got to compare for yourself, right? Nobody else, right?
Yep.
Second one, same as last week. All right. Cliff first. Okay, I think this was the first one that we had.
Okay.
Everyone was liking the first view. Okay, maybe we'll switch.
Oh, okay.
Maybe we'll switch that around. Portrait.
Oh boy.
A couple of people liked portrait, so we may switch back. Ryan looks relaxed. Yep, he definitely does.
That's the point. Recovery time.
Yep. Oh, you like the T-shirt? Which one, Ryan's or mine? Probably mine.
I'm gonna say yours.
Yeah, it says poop on it. Cliff says, I swapped to Ultra over time and years of shin splints. Went to a Escalade, Torin, Superior. Those are all the ones he wears, which is awesome.
Yep.
That's great.
Good shoes.
Yeah.
Superior is probably my favorite training shoe. So.
Yeah, I've been wearing mine. Like I like the Superior because I mean I go out on the trail and it's like there's not a lot of cushion in the Superiors, and I like that because I want my foot to feel what I'm running on, not doing what Matty Lowe did and take his shoes off and decide to go for a trail run like last year.
Oh, yeah.
He kind of tore his feet up quite a bit. But yeah, Running Fred. Hey, David. Hey, everyone. Hey, good to have you here, man. It's very, very cool. Currently fueling after 15 miles of frost. Yeah, it was a little cooler out there today. Guttles, hello from South Africa. Nice to have you here. Now this, hey guys, do you think it's okay to run every day at MAF minus 10? Is it good for my condition? Every day when I wake up at 4 a.m., I go for a run for 1 hour, but I don't want to get, and then he's going to say injured, I bet. Hold on. Doesn't want to get, I think he said injured. Okay, I'm going to switch the view because people were kind of liking this one. So we'll kind of switch to this a bit. So look, I don't know how long you've been running for, but what I would say is your chances of getting injured when you're running in your aerobic zone is going to be very, very, very reduced than if you're running really fast paces, right? So if you're training anaerobically, like if you're going out running on the track, you're running tempos every single day, yeah, you're going to find yourself going to be burned out, you're going to get tired, and you're going to get injured. However, if you're running in your aerobic zone, you have a better chance of staying away from those injuries. So figure it out, work your way up, right? So start like one day, do 10 kilometers if that's what you can do. Maybe take the next day off, then do the next day. Like just kind of vary it, see where it goes. But you should be okay. Like I'm no doctor and I'm no coach or whatever. I'm just a guy that's kind of taking this up and it's worked for me. So again, you just have to listen to your body and listen to what it's telling you as your biofeedback comes in, right? So what do you think, Ryan? You agree with that one, or?
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I mean, avoiding injury is going to be a huge thing. Now, I won't pretend to ascribe to the whole MAF system. I really enjoy going fast when I go fast. So, but one thing I'm doing more of now, and this came from Coach David Roach, not my coach, but I read his book and listened to him on Ginger Runner and all that. What he suggests is doing intervals, but like really short intervals where you go basically at a very slow pace, like a MAF pace, for like a 5-minute period, and then do 30-second sprint, and then do a full recovery for like 5 minutes again. So the majority of your run, you're going super slow, you're avoiding injury, and then there's that, I guess, 30 seconds of danger where you're really training your body to go fast. And then you have that recovery. So I like that. Certainly I don't want to get injured. I've never had any significant injuries that have held me off from running other than like a sprained ankle once where 2 weeks I couldn't run. But
I think the one thing that you have going for you, Ryan, is you've got a great setup to be able to work out and do strength training from home, right?
Yeah.
I think that helps
Yeah.
you as well.
Yeah, I think so too. Although I'll say that's not really a conscious decision. That's more just, I mean, I came from more of a strength background and I still like doing it. So when I feel like lifting weights, that's what I choose to do. And I think that's sort of been my overall philosophy, is just listening to my body, listening to what I feel like doing. And that's worked out for me so far. So
yeah, you know what, you got to do what works for you, right? Like that's the important thing. For me, hold on a second. There's a whole bunch of other questions coming in. It's like I don't want to. Okay, so we did that one.
yeah,
Okay,
you didn't want to get in.
that was the other part. That was the other part. And so I prefer to run at MAF minus 10. I'm 33, so max heart rate would be 137. So my heart rate zone would be, yeah, okay, that's fine. Do you think it's beneficial, long-term progress, or can my body plateau in the heart rate zone? Yes. So, okay, now I'm on the other part of your question. Sorry, I didn't see it there. Yeah, I think that you can and you will plateau. Okay, and when that hits, you're going to get frustrated. So what I would suggest, and Dr. Phil Maffetone talks about this, is get out there and do a little bit of 80-20, right? So have a couple of more speed sessions in there and help with leg turnover, all that kind of form. It would really help. So yeah, if you've plateaued for a month and you're not seeing any more improvement, then yeah, certainly go to the next step. Add in a month of speed work, and then go back to MAF again and see where you're at, right? See if it's helped. It's just like a trigger, I guess. I don't know, but I mean, I've seen it for me, and I've had to vary it up myself.
Yeah, makes sense.
Cliff was saying, I hike in my Superior 4 as well, so light. So light even after a long day. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah. I think you've got the older Superiors, right? Those red ones.
Yeah,
I think the 3s or 3.5s.
I think the 3.5. I have the 2s and the 3.5s. This will probably be a year of the 4. Well, probably version 5 if they're coming out with version 5.
Oh, these are the 4.5s right here. I like them. The 4s was a big change for the uppers, so they're a little nicer. Not that we want to spend this whole time talking about shoes, but
it's all good though. But I do like the shoe. Poop then run. Yes, absolutely. I always have to make sure. Julie, no, we all prefer the other view. Julie, which other view? Which other view? Julie, comment right now and let me know. Portrait or, okay, this is portrait or landscape, which is the other one. Sorry, guys.
Or standard versus widescreen.
Yeah, something like that. Chris, hey, David, hey, everyone.
Bar beer.
Yeah, they're very, very cool. Nice. Ryan, when did you start running?
I mean, I could say that I ran as a kid. I've gone through a bunch of phases, but really, like, trail running really started when Karen got pregnant. And yeah, my first race was a week after we had our youngest. So that would have been 5-6 years ago.
Oh.
Well, he's 5, so yeah. And like things took off from there. Before that, it was just very, very amateur, random dabbling. It was like once a week I would run, and then weight train the rest of the days.
So if any of you guys want to know more about Ryan's kind of story, I did a podcast with my buddy Sean on Trail Tales ARP. You guys can find that on any of your platforms where you listen to podcasts, and scroll through the catalog through there. But yeah, I did an interview with Ryan last summer, I believe. I think it was was it last summer or the year before?
I think it might have been the year before.
Yeah, it was the year before. Wow, it's 2 years already. My gosh. Time goes by fast, man.
Yeah.
It's nuts. Yeah, everyone is liking the landscape. Yeah, everyone's liking the landscape.
Yeah, that's my vote.
So Julie started running when she was 38. I started when I was 40. What was I? 42. And it was a bad diagnosis. It was crazy. But so Ryan, okay, so you had a couple of things that you wanted to talk about because we were talking about, setting goals and trying to make them sustainable, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I guess the other side of the goals thing is looking back on what your goals were and what you got from them. So I guess I've got a question for you about your new ultra effort. How do you feel about it? What did you gain from it for doing the Boyne Valley? How do you feel about it?
Well, I feel like you need to recover a lot.
Okay, yeah.
Man, I mean, it kind of broke me open in a lot of ways, right? I think it taught me that I am capable of going longer distances and I can achieve the goals that I set forth. And regardless of you're 100% prepared for it or not, just go out and do it, right? There's nothing stopping you, right? Except yourself. So the
Yep.
more critical that I am of my training, the more self-critical I am of, missing a workout or doing something, the more critical I am, it kind of brings me down. So I tend to kind of bottle it up, throw it away, and kind of try to stay focused on the positive aspects of it, right? The enjoyment of being out on the trail and being grateful that I'm able to run. I said that in my video today, right? Or that posted out this morning is I wasn't grateful for my running before. Now, after running that, I am very, very grateful because I've got two legs that I can go out and do that, right? I've got a good heart. I've got legs and I'm able to buy the food I need to eat to be able to run, right? A lot of people in the world, they don't have that, right? I'm very privileged, right? So it made me become more grateful person than and less judgmental as well, right? So, one of the things I'm trying my best this year is to kind of reduce the judgment, right? You see something on the news and you go, why do people do that? It's like, back off. You're not part of their ecosystem. You're not part of their life. Like where are they coming from, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes people get fed information and do the craziest things based on the information they get, right? So I'm trying to be kinder. And I think running that longer distance and you can tell, right? A lot of it's more emotional based, a lot more than a physical aspect, right? And it's fascinating when I look at the two ends of it, where things kind of like how it all kind of like the things I learned.
Yeah. And so leading up to it, I'm sure you had some mindset about like why it was important to do it. Has that changed, like looking back on it now? Do you think it's still as important or the same level?
I think the outpouring of support that I've gotten from people, I have to say, has been wow. Like it's been overwhelming. And the messages that I get on YouTube, right, and commenting here, right, the comments that I get, the text messages I get, the emails I get, like all just saying, David, your videos have helped. Your running your ultra marathon has inspired me to go out and run that distance, or it's gotten me off the couch, or it's gotten me through the pandemic, or it's gotten me like I didn't really realize what my story would have unleashed, but it's been a positive for me. And it's just shown that everybody, right? Everybody's story, right? Everybody that's watching this has a story, right? That's living their life, right? And there's a lot of times people don't know, right? We're not doing this by ourselves, right? This is a global running community, right? Sure, we may go out and do our run by ourselves. That's fine. But we come back on social media and we're able to share our experiences with others in our Facebook group, right? So if any of you guys are watching, we've got a Facebook group for the Plant Powered Runner, and we're sharing our runs with everybody. We're taking pictures and we're sharing it. So you can find it in the link below on this video, or you can go into Facebook and just type in the Plant Powered Runner under the groups, and you can find it. Okay. That's the thing. So it's kind of created this running community that's helped me inspire others and who inspire me. Like they inspire me back, right?
Yeah.
So when I see your posts, right, you inspire me because it's like, oh yeah, Ryan's going for this, FKT. Okay, I'm pumped for this, right? He's doing recon, looking at that. Or I see another friend of mine doing a 10K, or my friend Dennis, who's getting back into running and he wants to lose weight, but he was out there with me the other day. And like, it's cool to see what everyone's doing around the world. Right. So yeah, that's kind of some of the things that it's kind of taught me.
Yeah. Yeah. And for me, like if I look back at the Kissing Bridge FKT attempt, I'd be lying. Like I'm telling you that it was sort of a stepping stone. I thought of it as a training run, but I'd be lying if I didn't say that I wanted to smash the FKT. I wanted to get that title and maybe even get some positive attention for it. That was leading up to it. Looking back on it, none of that matters. None of that matters even slightly. I honestly, I forget that I got the FKT on it. It's on a website somewhere. I don't look at that. But what I do remember from it, and the thing I value from it, is all the people that came out that day to support. Like everyone from TVT, Team Vegan Trails, our group. That was like an overwhelming, just beautiful thing, and it was a surprise. So that was really special, and that's the thing I value from it. Not the actual FKT, just the experience of the community coming out, and that's what's inspired me to go out and put more energy into supporting other people. So helping you and Kurt out on your individual efforts and just trying to do more of that.
Yeah, that's very cool. So Ryan and his wife Karen, they actually put together a group on Facebook called Team Vegan Trails, and it's brought runners who are vegan around the world, and they do what was it, Talk Tuesdays. And
Talk Tuesdays, yeah.
Ryan will post out a question and we'll kind of answer. I love being part of communities of like-minded people, right? So yeah, I went ahead and I created one for all of you guys here to help inspire and everything else. Just like Ryan and his wife have created one called, like I said, Team Vegan Trails. So you guys can find that. There's also a link down below where you can find them. Yeah, I mean, it's neat, our environment where we kind of bring everybody together, and we're a community, right? We're a community. We may be far away from others, but we're still a community that can bring each other closer.
Yeah, and I've found that that's sort of the big thing that running has brought me is that community, and it's really important.
Yeah, it's very cool. Eric was saying, any favorite race or run locations before COVID, or just local running? I'll let you take that one, Ryan. You can take that first.
Oh, everyone's my favorite. I've only had the privilege to run and race in Ontario. So there's a few, anything that touches the Bruce Trail I love. For the 5 Peak series, I'm also an ambassador for them. And especially their rattlesnake race it's just so technical. It's so much fun. It's a shorter distance, so it's more just a fun run for me. But for the longer races, the Happy Trail series, Falling Water is along the Bruce Trail. That was a lot of fun. And then Tally in the Valley.
Yeah, I like the Falling Water, like Falling Waters. That's the one I want to run. I love the Beaver Valley.
Yeah, you said you wanted to run that, yeah.
Yeah, it's just super cool. I've been in there a number of times doing recon, and I just love it down in there. It's just absolutely beautiful, and it's close to my house, right? So, yeah. I mean, Eric, I love running races running close to my house, because then I don't have to drive so far. But I will go further distance to go for one. It depends on where I am with work. Like the video that just came out today, I was up in Alcona, which is just south of Barrie. and I had a couple of real estate appointments up there, but I was able to hit the trail. Now it's not like rugged, crazy trail. It's more of a buffed out trail, right? Which is perfectly fine, but it's still an enjoyable trail system. So yeah, I mean, I like Ryan said, anything to do with the Bruce Trail. Anyone that doesn't know the Bruce Trail, I mean, it runs from Niagara Falls all the way up to Tobermory, and it's like close to 900 kilometers of rugged terrain.
890, yeah.
890, okay. Well,
give or take.
It changes every year because they just
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's flipping awesome. Running Fred, I started formal training at 13. Wow, really? Twice a day track sessions at 17. Switched up to the road at 25 with very badly beaten up body. Yeah, it's crazy how that happens, eh? Never any fun.
Yeah.
Julie, I never ran before. Not even in school. I was very lazy and never played any sports. No way, really? Were you more of like a bookworm that just kind of liked reading or video games? I don't know. Julie again. But now I recognize my laziness as a lack of confidence and not feeling good enough. Running marathons and ultras has changed my life. Very, very cool. You know what? I can relate to that. Right?
I can too. Like in high school, I loved running on my own. And if I had known that it was okay to join a team or even just show up at a race without being the best, then I certainly would have done that. But that lack of confidence and lack of knowledge, I guess, kept me from doing it until my later years. So
yeah, it's for me. I ran because I got bullied. It was my way.
Right.
It was my way to get out of the situation I was in. You know, I had principals calling me stupid. I got teachers, and this is in grade. What grade was I in? Grade 3, 4, 5, right? Getting bullied at that by teachers and principals, and then getting bullied by the kids, like that sucked. So I had to find something. And so it kind of took me into running, and I became really good at running cross country. And then I kind of disappeared, when I got like later on in life, I just kind of lost it. So my confidence comes back when I run. And when I run, I just feel alive. Like I feel awesome. Like I just want to do more. Right.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, yeah, I can absolutely. I'm sure others on here can relate to this as well. Right. Impractical Runner, are you guys on Strava? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. You can find my Strava link down below in the description, or you can find it on the YouTube channel homepage on the banner on the top right. You can see the Strava icon. And if you want to find Ryan, become my friend, and you can find Ryan because he's on there, or you can just look him up as Ryan Flint, I guess.
Yeah, easy enough.
Easy enough. Cliff, question to both. If you could go back and give yourself just one piece of running advice, what would it be? Okay, Ryan, you're taking this first.
Yeah, for me, I would talk to that high school kid or younger and just tell him you're allowed to run. It's okay. Go to the race and do it. You don't have to be the best, and just enjoy it. Yeah.
For me, I would say never let anybody bully you again. And this running thing will take you to great places. Like I almost qualified for OFSA, right? But I got injured. That's the Ontario finals, by the way, right? And I pulled all the ligaments in my hip. I was actually at York University with Ben Johnson, our disgraced Canadian 100 meter from steroid use in, what was it, 88? I think it was, or was it 84? 88, I think, in the Seoul Olympics. Yeah, he was there.
Yeah, don't ask me, but you're probably right.
That was before he was disgraced. And he was giving me tips and pointers and everything else. But I made it all the way to the finals, and boom, 70 meters in, down I went. I was winning the race, and I would have gone off, and that would have been great. But again, life intervened, and that happened. And so, yeah, I just say, look, listen, you can run. Don't let anyone stop you. Don't let anyone bully you into saying you can't do anything. You are good go out and achieve your greens.
Yeah.
Matt, Ryan, when are you running the Bruce Trail end to end?
Oh, Matt. So Matt is part of our TVT group as well, and he actually paced me for my final loop of Sulphur Springs a couple years back. So, hey, Matt. Yeah, no idea. It's not going to be 2021. It'll be in a couple of years when we can figure out logistics with the family. But yeah, I mean, I'm still gradually working up to that. But I do, one of the other ultra guys, Ian, I don't want to give everything away, but apparently he's planning to go for the Bruce Trail FKT this year, so I may help him out with that. So we'll see how that goes.
See, that's the cool thing, right, about our community. We always want to give back. We always want to help, right? Even though you want to go ahead and run it, you're going to be there to support him, right? Like, just love our community.
Oh, and I want to say, Matt is an amazing runner, by the way, and one of my proudest moments had only 50% due to me was during the Albion Grind. Was it 2 years ago? A couple years back, where he and I came first and second, and standing up on the podium, 2 TVT people, was just awesome. So that was one of my proudest moments in running. So thanks for being a part of that, Matt.
Yeah, Matt rocks. You're fast.
Yeah,
very fast, very fast. Maybe we can get you on here too, Matt, if you want to have a chat with us. Let me go back. But there we go. So Julie says yes, she is still a bookworm. Yep, nothing wrong with that. My wife, she's totally a bookworm. Fred's was saying, my piece of advice for anyone running, right? When your program says easy, run it easy, right? Don't get sucked into the running at the slight uncomfortable paces, thinking that it's helping. By the way, that it's certainly not. And for him, it was 15 years of road running. Yeah, absolutely. Don't get stuck. Don't get pulled into that stuff, right? Yeah. Sometimes we think when we're on a run with others that we have to keep up with them. Trust me, I've been out with a run with Ryan, and Ryan is a fast runner, but yet when I go out for a run with Ryan, he just slows it down and he'll run with me because we're there to run together. We're not there to compete, and we're not there to like push each other. We're there just to run an easy run and have some comfortable conversation while we're out there, right?
Yeah, to enjoy it. That's my main focus, just to enjoy it.
I totally, absolutely agree. Eric, Ryan, we have a mutual Facebook friend. You look familiar. Did you play Ultimate Frisbee way back when? You figure it out offline.
I haven't. Well, not consistently, anyways. But I did once or twice. Okay. I do recognize the name Eric Karp. So yeah, we probably, I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Look at that. See, you bring everyone together regardless of where we are. So I just wanted to mention to people at the bottom, you're seeing this little ticker go by. So channel memberships are going to be available at 3,000 subscriptions. So yeah, that's happening. And it's a way for me to move the pendulum forward, right? To be able to do more with the channel. So it's kind of like PBS, right? So if anyone wants to join membership with Plant Powered Runner here, right? We're going to have custom emojis. We're going to have all kinds of loyalty badges. There's going to be motivational videos. There'll be shout outs. There'll be all kinds of really cool things that you can sign up for. And it's a monthly occurring cost. I think the first one is $199, $499, or if you go to the highest one, it's $15 for the month. And you can cancel it at any time. So that's what that ticker across the bottom is. So, and yeah, anyways, just wanted to explain that because I'm sure some of you are going, what is that?
Is PBS still a thing?
I don't know, man. I'm just saying my age. Or it could be NPR. Maybe it's NPR nowadays. But yeah, congrats. Yeah, I'm getting there, Julie. We're just about there. It kind of slowed down for a couple of days, but it's kind of picked up again. We're about what do we have? 2,968 subscribers so far. I think that's where we're at. So we're getting close. We're getting close.
Nice.
It's pretty exciting. I honestly didn't think it would ever turn into anything like this. This is just my way of keeping myself accountable. And then you guys came aboard and then started following my journey, and you've kept me accountable, which has been amazing. So again, back, right?
So then you have a goal for getting up to 10,000 this year, right?
Yeah, that's the goal, right? We always have to have goals in life. So that's the goal of the channel, right? The more people I can reach, the more I can help, right?
Yeah. All right. Cool. So I think that's totally doable, like, especially with the content you're putting out. Like 10,000, I think you can do that. I'm curious though, why is that a goal? Like, why specifically 10,000? Where did that come from, or is that an arbitrary number?
10,000 was a round number, right? Double digits,
yeah.
Round number.
That makes sense.
The ring of it sounded good, right? It's better than like saying 9,000. It's kind of like going out for a run and saying, well, I'm going to run like an 8K. Or I'm going to go run a 10K, right? For me, it's like that round number. It's kind of nice. It's like going out for an hour run as opposed to I'm going out for an hour and 15-minute run. I guess that in my head, that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, it's kind of neat. So the reason why it's going to be available at 3,000 is I'm just waiting for YouTube to approve it, basically. So I submitted it last night, and it takes about 24 hours to come back and say yes, no, or if I got to make any changes to it. But anyways, we'll see what happens. But the emojis are cool. You guys actually get to help me name my emojis, because I think there's 5 custom emojis that you're going to be able to use in the description, like when you're commenting, and I need names for them. And then there's like loyalty badges. Ryan, you're going to like some of these, and they appear next to your name. So if you're if you're a subscriber and you've been in for 1 month, then you'll have one loyalty badge that appears next to it. And then the next milestone would be like 3 months, and then 4 months or whatever. And as you go all the way up to a year, you get different badges that appear next to your name. So nice. I got some really cool ones, right?
Cool.
So anyways, I try to make it fun. My daughter was with me, and she's like, let's make some really cool ones. So I'm like, all right, let's try it. So my daughter was full on helping me do all this kind of stuff. You're more competitive with your YouTube when you're running. Why is that? And now Ryan already asked. There you go. Perfect. Exactly. Hey, I'm running a 100-mile race, man. Come on.
Yeah, you're getting competitive. It's been nice to see you back into like actually doing, well, I guess not actual races, but it's that thing. You're setting running goals. You've kind of been sitting on the back burner for a couple of years. Well, since I've known you, really. Yeah. So this past year has been awesome to see you stepping up.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to step up and step into who I want to be, right? Like having a 100-mile race in my head, whether it's self-imposed or not, is still flipping scary, right?
Yeah.
I'm freaked, just so you know, like, because I know what 50 miles feels like, and I want to go 100 miles. Holy crap. I definitely have to up my game, and there's definitely going to be back-to-backs of training. So there's no shortage of that.
Now, are you doing any like month-long or even year-long distance goals?
This year, I set a goal. I wanted to run about 4,000. I didn't really set it up saying out loud last year, because I was just kind of starting everything. So I didn't really say it out loud, but in my head, I was like, you know what? If I could get 4,000, that would be nice. Kilometers, that is, for the year. Yeah. I ended up with like 42 something or other. So it was quite a big difference from where I was before. The other years were like 1,000, like 1,500, and I think there was like a 2,100, and then those 2 bad years were like 700 and 500.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely upped my game a lot when it comes to that, right? So
Okay, yeah,
You
yeah. I
know?
think 4,000 or somewhere around 4,000 for the Cross Canada Challenge, the Great Canadian, whatever it is. I'm doing that, and mentally, that's been sort of a challenge for me because I do a lot of cross training.
Yeah.
So I mean, right as of like a month ago, I was sitting at like 400 kilometers behind pace, and like looking like it's not going to happen. And then I'm thinking like, should I be running a half marathon every day or whatever, and just to get this done? Is that going to hold me back? So that's been sort of like a mental thing for me, but I think I'm figuring it out. I'm catching up, doing more on the bike.
That's all right. I've been trying to figure out the time. Like I was like, last night, I didn't go to bed until I don't know. I think it was like 3. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I went to bed because I was putting the last touches of the video that was launching this morning. I
Hmm.
gotta get faster at this because my work. Like, there's only a period of time of day that I can work on these things, and it's at night and early in the morning. So, for me, if I'm doing these longer training efforts, I need to get the sleep recovery right. So,
Yeah,
I'm going to figure out my time to be able to run and then work and then family and then come home, figure out stuff at night and then work till whatever. Like it's a challenge, right? It's a challenge. So the more that's where I think some of the channel memberships is going to help me because I can maybe give some of this editing help that I need to maybe my daughter and I can pay her or something, right? It's just I don't know. I just got to figure out something just to kind of because I'm staying, very consistent. But again,
hmm,
consistent in running, consistent in working, consistent in family and video. Like there's a lot of
there's a
moving,
lot to balance.
right? Trying to make it all happen, right? And then doing the live streams too, right? Which I really,
Yeah.
really enjoy. Like this is awesome. So Julie was saying one of your earlier videos, you said, wow, people run 100 miles. So crazy to see how far you've come since then. Julie, you have no idea. Oh my gosh, it is crazy. Like Ryan and I have had lots of conversations over the years about, 100-mile runs. And Ryan ran 100 miles, right? He's gone the distance. He
Well,
knows.
you pushed me to do that. You you
You do it.
you
No,
really put
you
that
do
into my mind. Yeah.
it. Yeah, I said you can be like one of those ultra runners that you see on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it happened, right? It happened. So Ryan, yes, so Ryan has run a 100 miler.
Yeah, I've run a couple now. I got it. Here's my belt buckle for the Sulphur Springs, the second 100 mile I did.
Yeah, Sulphur Springs is a trail run that's held over in Hamilton, more Ancaster, Ontario. Great trail system down there.
Hmm. Yeah, Dundas Valley.
Maurice, 100 miles, scary. How many miles training weekly do you train for that? What was yours, Ryan? What were you putting in?
Well, I have sort of this training plan that I got from Gary Robbins. I forget what his is it Training Peaks or no, I forget what his company is, but we'll have to put a link or something. Anyways, I won the training plan, so I took that as a base and just sort of tweaked it to myself. And the idea is basically just gradually increasing over time. I think his is set as a 33-week plan, which I crammed into 15,
Yeah,
which is not ideal. But I think the highest weeks are still only like 130, 140 maybe kilometers. So not even 100 miles for the week. And then you taper down after that. But it's just gradually building up.
yeah. That's basically what I did for my 50 miler, and it's the same thing. I mean, I did 1 week of 100 miles, and I did have another week that was 140. Sorry, 167 kilometers 1 week, and then 140, and then 130, like all in that kind of range, right? But yeah, you can get it up there. You can build up to it. It's not too
But I think,
it's not too hard. It's just trying to find the time to get
yeah,
out and actually do it, right? So one of my goals was getting out at like, 7:30 in the morning, right? Because, as the day goes on, the less time I have for it, right?
Yeah.
Just work happens and you got to go, right? So yeah, if my window, like if I procrastinate, my window gets shorter.
Yeah, I do think that people overestimate how much you need to run. Like those miles, those added miles, it gets to a point where it's doing more damage than good. Especially if you have other stressors in your life, because ultimately the body knows stress, not miles. That's what Coach Roach says all the time. So yeah, I mean, there's lots of stories of elite runners who are doing like very low mileage and killing it at 100-mile races. So don't get too bogged down in the numbers. That's my philosophy, anyways.
Yeah, you could get stuck in the weeds and not do anything, right? Like it
Yeah,
can get overwhelming. Just get out
yeah.
and
There's something to be said about quality over quantity.
absolutely, because each workout, each run is a specific goal, right?
Hmm.
For your training, right? It's like when you're training, building up your base, the goal is to build up your base, right? And
Yep.
you do that nice, slow, steady. In doing it, you get faster and faster. When you plateau, incorporate some 80-20, 80-20 in there, right? Put in some fartleks, whatever it may be, gets you level up. You're always leveling up, right? But I would say work on your base first, because if you don't have a base, I mean, you don't want to be like me and burnout. That's all I got to say. Cliff, subscriber goal is 10,000, 21, 42, 50. Notice a pattern. Yeah, before you know it, I'll be doing an ultra.
Yep.
Who knows? Maybe. I don't know. It'll be
Although
interesting.
by that logic, you should be starting at 5K, right?
Well, yeah, exactly. I'm like behind the game on that. But it's all good. Hey, my number one mission with this is to give good quality, right? That's the number one, right? I'm not going to get stuck on the details and the weeds and the numbers. Like I said, it's always nice to have goals, right? To work towards them. And that's great, right? But again, if you don't hit it, it's not like the world comes to an end, right? Like, yeah,
Yep.
you didn't win it, right? But at least you put in the effort and the time and the energy it took to reach your goals, whatever it is, right? So
Yeah, it's about the journey, not the destination. I mean, like, there's plenty of goals that I've completely failed at. I mean, one that comes to mind is my rhino costume running of the Tally in the Valley last year, or 2019, and like I puked my guts out, had to cut out at 98 kilometers. But like the experience was awesome. Training up for it was awesome, and ultimately I shouldn't have been able to get that far. So it was as much of a failure as it was a success in many ways. So I'm happy with that.
yeah, it's very cool. Hey, so I'm wearing this hat because a lot of people, because actually I had a couple of people comment the other day on a video I posted in our group, but the hat that I'm wearing, right? This hat, it's Hawks, and this hat comes from Australia, courteous of Gary Shrimpton. So thank you, Gary. If you're watching, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. He sent it all away. It was just awesome. I got his message one day and he goes, "What's your address? I got something I want to send you." And anyways, it's here. And this hat is so warm. It's amazing.
Nice.
Actually, it kept my head warm. Now, because Ryan, I am thinning up top, right?
If you say so. It happens. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it does. So, Julie, you've got close, 92 miles. Excellent. So, do you think you'll be able to reach a 100-mile week? Think you'll be able to do it? I think you could. Put your mind to it. You could. Michael, David, during a run, do you ever look at your pace or only afterwards? I don't look at pace at all. When I'm running, the only thing I look at on my watch is heart rate. It's the only thing I see. So when I finish, that's when I see all my stats, and that's when I go thumbs up. You'll see my post on Strava, whether it's a happy one or it's not. Usually my expression comes out in my Strava post on how I was feeling. So if you're following me on Strava, that you'll notice that. And I usually take a couple of pictures. Cliff, I'm inspired by you guys. Do you look for
Who do you look for?
inspiration? That's a good one. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, you want to take this? You want me to take this?
Well, I mean, I find inspiration kind of everywhere. I mean, probably the person that I get a ton of inspiration from is like Rich Roll. He's always talking to amazing people, and I mean, it's not always running related. In fact, it rarely is, but you can always glean some inspiration from that. I get inspiration from reading comic books, like Batman and Ninja Turtles, movies. Basically, anytime I see someone going for it in whatever capacity it may be, I find that inspirational. So yeah.
Well, I where do I get mine from? Mine comes from deep within, actually.
Nice.
Yeah, it goes back to like being bullied. Really, it comes down like when sometimes I go out there and I'm just running and I've got the kids, like it's like I'm like a tiny little kid again and running away from all these kids and knowing I'm way faster than them. And sometimes my demons inspire me to push forward and just make things happen. Um, the other thing I see is again, Rich Roll is another one that inspires me to be a better person, right? To always kind of reaching levels that I never thought possible. But a lot of great guests on his podcast. So I've
Yeah.
been listening to that for like 5 years now, or is it 6? No, it's 5. I think it's 5 years I've been listening to it. So yeah, so I kind of turn towards that. And here's the other thing: I get inspired by you guys, right? You
Yeah.
guys comment, right? All of your comments saying, Dave, I'm motivating you, and this is what I'm doing, and I'm going to be running a 100-miler, or I'm going to be running, 20 kilometers, or I'm going to go out for a half marathon, or I'm going from 5K to or couch to 5K. Man, that inspires me. I'm like, oh my gosh, like they're doing it, right? And when I see that, then it invigorates me, and it's like, I want to go further. I want to do more. I want to come back and have that run and just have that the endorphins go crazy and I have all those good feelings going on, right? And I get that from all your comments when I see them all, right? Because I read all of them and I answer all your comments. So that's a lot of where I get that from, right?
Yeah. The community at large is such a source of inspiration, and it's not like you say, it's not just those elite runners. It's everyone who's going out there and pushing themselves, or just going out there and having a good time and supporting other people. Like I really, it sucked not having races this year, and barely getting chances to get together with people. Like that was a huge loss. But hopefully, I know Five Peaks, the race series, they're saying they're planning to go ahead with races this year, and that's always an amazing group of people. Like you always have a good time at those races, and everyone there is inspiring, inspirational.
Yeah, and I think
So
like I'm an extrovert, so I'm having a hard time with this whole not being around anybody. Like I go to work, I go to the grocery store, I go for a run, and then I'm home. Like that's it. Like really, there's nowhere to go anywhere. Um, so yeah, it's been hard for me. So I've been trying to look for inspiration from different sources, right? But like Ryan said, you can find it anywhere you look, right? Practically, I look at my watch about every minute. Yeah,
do you follow that?
I used to be like that. Totally,
Yeah.
I was that guy. Oh,
You got to make sure there's no roots in front of you when you do that, though.
well, you do know I've gone down. I have those handheld bottles, and I use them so when I wipe out, it's all on that, right? Julie was saying 92 Ultra. Okay, not a week. Very cool. Sorry,
Nice.
I wasn't too sure which it was, Julie. But yeah, 92 Ultra. That's awesome. So you're going to go for 100? Fingers crossed. You can do it. You can do it. Cliff, heart rate and time only here as well. Currently focused on increasing time on my feet. Good for you. Time on your feet. Absolutely. Ryan, you definitely know this because, again, you've gone that longer distance, right? You know how important time is, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'll admit, I do pay attention to pace, but more often than not, even when I'm aware of my pace, it's not factoring into what I'm doing. Like I'm trying to stick to my plan, which more often than not is going slower than my brain wants to go.
Yeah, Brian has a hard time with the whole brain thing, turning it off. It just wants to go fast. But
Well, especially if there's like people around, because you got to look good.
right?
It's so annoying when you pass someone by and you start to think that they think you're slow or you're not good at what you're doing, and
It's the ego, man. It's always the ego.
yep.
Bury it.
Actually, okay, that was another thing I wanted to talk to you about,
Okay.
because I know everyone's got their goals, and I don't want to fault anyone for having the goals that they do, and I don't want to judge anyone and say that your goal is superficial, because it's not necessarily. I know one of your goals, or at least I think it was to lose weight, right?
Yeah.
And I know that was a goal for me for the longest time, like more when I was a kid and going to high school and whatever. So why is that a goal for you? No judgment. Seriously.
No. I feel better. I feel lighter. And in my training, I notice that as I get down to my race weight, I feel better. Like the joints feel much better because there's not all this extra weight that's kind of moving around, right? So when that comes off, I find that I'm lighter on my feet. I tend to move more effortlessly, and to be quite honest, I think that's about it.
Okay, and I can relate to that. Like feeling like there's times where I'm not doing as much training and I may be indulging a little more, and even though I'm still not to the point where I'm technically overweight, or at least visibly overweight, it feels weird. So I can relate to that. I guess my mindset.
It's also heart rate too, right? So the more
Yeah.
that I'm carrying, the higher my heart rate is, right? So if I can get rid of the visceral fat around the belly, right, it's healthier for you, right? And I'm not at my race weight. I'm not actually at my ideal weight right now. So I know where I want to be, and I know how amazing I felt at that level. I just want to get back to there because I know how much faster I'm going to be. How much healthier I'm going to be because I'm going to be at my ideal weight for me and where I like to be, right?
So where is it a specific number or is it more of a feeling?
I wouldn't say it's a specific number because it's somewhere in the 170 range, right? It's somewhere
Okay.
in that area. Like I said, when I ran, the happiest I was about 175, 176.
Okay. Because for me, it's been years since I've weighed myself. I have a history of like struggling with body image issues. I'll throw it out there. In high school, I struggled with bulimia. So that was a big thing to kind of move past. And even still, like we say, like I know your body moves better at certain weights. For me, the thing that's kind of helped me through that is seeing my body come secondary to what I enjoy doing. So like I enjoy running, but I don't run to lose weight. I happen to lose weight, or not even lose weight, but change my body conformation just because of what I'm doing. So that's where I kind of land on that kind of thing.
That's cool. It's awesome to see like that other take, right? So, because you give me a bag of chips, it's gone. Like you give me a piece of cake, I want a second one. Like it's just, it's a perpetual motion, right? So I have like this, I just like to eat all the time. And it can be a challenge sometimes, right? So again, people say, well, why do I fast? It's kind of like a reset for me, right? Because it gets me out of the habit of eating all the junk because I can go cold turkey. I can go boom. Like I could say tomorrow, I'm done. I'm doing a 7-day water fast and it starts tomorrow, and I'll do it. Right. I'll do it.
Yeah. You're good at sticking to that.
Right. But if I turn around and, like, okay, well, I'll just have a little bit of, at this time or a little bit at that time, it doesn't translate very well. It ends up the day is just blowing. Right. So that, to me, that's kind of how how it works.
Yeah. And I'll say on the other side of things, like I'm not completely out of the woods with body image issues. Like if I had my druthers, I'd be probably like 50 pounds heavier with pure muscle, like making a good visual impact on people, like, oh my God, you're vegan or whatever. But ultimately my body type is a result of what I like doing.
And that's awesome.
So
that's an awesome way to look at it when you think about it, right? So Julie was saying, David, your positive energy is incredibly inspiring. That's why you have so many followers.
Agreed.
Thanks, Julie. I appreciate it. I mean, I'm just me, right? I am who I am.
And by the way, after last week's thing, I just want to throw it out that I really enjoyed you talking to that runner guy, and I checked him out, and like there's a lot of really cool stuff there. So,
oh, awesome! That's so cool. Yeah, it's great. It's amazing the people that we can kind of bring together, because again, the running community is huge, but you can kind of funnel it all down, right? And everybody, there's a little bit of something for everybody from everywhere, right? So Fred was saying, one day turn your MAF test on its head, run at the pace of your current MAF pace and see what your current heart rate is, and run your heart rate blind. Try it. Hey, that's kind of cool. Let me actually try. That's
interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. Be very interesting. Have you done it, Fred?
I always run heart rate blind just because I love my watch, but it's not heart rate accurate. It tells me some crazy stuff, so I've turned that off.
Yeah, I actually got the Polar H10 and it's working amazing. Like, it's so accurate.
Yeah.
Well, okay. When I say it's so accurate, I guess it's accurate because really, what's the accuracy? How do you measure it? How do you measure it? Right. So I guess what it's telling me is,
well, you go old school and you count your pulse as you're running.
I'm running. I'm just gonna count. I'm running. Yeah. Watch out for the ice. Watch out for the snow. Watch out for it's crazy. Rock says, if someone passes me on the track, I can't help but turn on 5K pace.
I can relate to that. Yeah.
Yeah. I've done that too. I have to admit, I don't want to admit it, but yeah, I've been there. I've done it. Thanks, Ryan, for sharing that. About the whole weight thing. Yeah. It's really cool to be able to share these things because there's so many people out there that go through things that, you don't know, right? Cliff, I don't think I've overtaken anyone since 2018, but that's okay. You overtook somebody, right? That's good.
It was ultimately you had to come to terms with it. Even when you're racing, you're not racing against other people. You're racing against yourself. Because I mean, as much as I like to have my award, like my podium finishes, it's all dependent on who shows up at that race. There's millions of runners that are way faster than me. If 3 of them show up, I'm not getting on the podium. So it doesn't matter if you're passing anyone, just that you're doing your thing.
Yep, it's always a competition of yourself, a race of one, right? I always say, just work on this person here. That's all that matters, right? Yep. If you're better than you were yesterday, great. If not, that's okay too, right? Again, not every day is going to be a good day. I definitely know that. Michael, totally agree with Julie and David's inspiration. Don't cop too much from other channels. Emojis. Keep your uniqueness. Yep, exactly. That's why I try to be different. I try to always come up with something different that I don't know. I don't know, man. I just try to do what I do, and if people like it, cool. If they don't, then that's also fine too. So I'm here just to focus on what I do. Thanks, Fred.
Copy. Yeah.
Yep, I appreciate that. Fred, yes, my heart rate is lower when I don't focus on it. Yep, I agree. Just don't think about it. Just run.
Yeah, that's interesting because just thinking about your heart rate could get you stressed about it and raise your heart rate.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's why when you go to run a race, your heart rate is already elevated because first off, you haven't slept well the night before because you're already freaking out about your race. Not everybody, but some people. And then just the thought of racing is freaking them out as well. Oh, I got to keep my heart rate low, or I got to do this, and everyone freaks out. Just run, run, right? And the thing is I've actually figured out where my heart rate is, where like I know what the effort is now, and I know my beats probably within 3 beats of what my run is. So again, you kind of pick it up as you go. Another question for you both. What is your single best running moment? Ryan, go.
Well, I already shared the moment of me and Matt on the podium after Albion Grind. It's hard to pick. I mean, there's so many. I'll throw it back to this year, finishing the Avon Trail. Actually, no. The day after the Avon Trail, Karen and I and the kids were walking through our trails, and through the pandemic, people have been like painting rocks and leaving them in the forest, and we did a little bit of that. And then there was this tree that had this rock on it with a rhino on it, and it said Avon Trail.
Oh, no way.
So seeing this.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's my award. Oh, wait, it's got the time on it.
Let's see if I can make it bigger. Hold on. I don't even know if I can make it bigger. Yeah, you and I. Hold on. So let me get rid of it.
We're saying 119 kilometers.
There you go. Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so that was a pretty good moment.
Yeah, I'd say. Yeah, it is. It's really neat, right? Like different races and different things that we enjoy. I would say mine. Honestly, it's hard. It's a hard toss-up, right? Because my first marathon I ever ran, I never thought I'd be able to end up doing the time I did. But I would say my Scotiabank Waterfront Marathon in Toronto in 2015 was a moment that I'll never forget. It was amazing, and I enjoyed every single moment of it, and it's what got me hooked. And but now, after I've run my ultra, it's kind of hard because you've got the crowd support. One that's huge, all these people screaming, and it's been amazing. And what a relief, and just the energy finishing. But then I run my ultra marathon, and I've got my family at and some neighbors right at the finish line. Right, and Ryan was there running and pacing me, and that was an amazing time. 2 totally opposite kind of races. So yeah, it was different. It was different, but yeah, that would be my two, for sure.
Yeah, it's hard to pick moments because I mean we're in this because almost every moment is awesome. So
yeah, pretty much. All right, I'm going to take one more question here. Great questions, thanks guys, for sure. Hey, so everybody, thanks for joining today. Really appreciate it. Ryan, thanks for hopping on. That was
of course
chit chatting with you. And yeah, we'll be back next week with another live stream, and then Thursday we've got another video coming out. And the other thing I wanted to mention is some of you guys may see some of these videos. I just posted one out on Wednesday or Thursday, where it was a short video. I'm experimenting with short videos, like less than 1 minute long, and it's designed to show up on your phone in portrait mode. Just as inspiration, right? So things that I can't get into a full video, I'm going to be experimenting with some of these short videos. So you will see those get posted out in the week as well. So anyways, that's what you may see coming out. So anyways, thanks everybody. Really appreciate it. It was awesome. Ryan, fist bump, high five.
I'm going to go across the screen.
Awesome, guys. Yeah, it was just great being here. And like I said, we'll see you next week.
All right.
See you guys later. Have fun. Get out there and run.